Well, imagine your home being attacked. You try the police emergency numbers, you scream for help from your neighbors, but no one comes to your aid. And then the robbers break in, hold you at gunpoint, and run away with your money and other valuables. That's the story of a female lecturer at the University of Ghana. Maxwell Agbagba spoke to her earlier.
I started searching for emergency number. Apparently, I saved a number of emergency numbers, so just any, I just called the first one twice, it went through, no response. So I tried second one, no response. So I decided to try neighbors' numbers. I called 3 or 4 neighbors. There was no response. Whilst I was trying to make the call, they started the operation trying to break through. Started screaming, "Armed robbers, armed robbers, please come to my rescue, armed robbers. Obimbro, armed robbers." I mean, anything that I can remember, I started screaming. But apparently when they pulled the burglar proof behind the door, I knew they were almost about entering. So I stopped screaming because I didn't want to provoke them.
Wow. So when they got into the room, tell me, where did they come first? They came to you first?
Yes, when they got to the room first, they went to the kitchen, they broke the kitchen door. Apparently we always lock all the doors, so they broke the kitchen door, went there. And then from the hall to where the bedrooms are, there are also doors there. And each night we lock each of them. So they broke through that also using cement blocks. And then when they came, they were numbered about 4. 2 came to my room. And again, with cement blocks, several, well, a few minutes, about 5 minutes, to hear at least about 4, 5 of the sound, bang, bang, about 4 times, and the door opened.
Wow. So tell me, what did they take from the room? What did they steal from you?
From my room, they requested for money. I gave them. They took my mobile phones.
How much did they take from?
The exact amount I'm not able to tell, but I know it's more than 2,000. It's ranging between 2,000 and 2,005 in that range. And then they requested for my jewelry, so I just gave them the box, and they were asking me which ones were gold. I just said they should collect everything. So they just collected everything to their pockets. They took my digital camera, my laptop, and some few other items in my room. And the hall, they took my flat screen television, 41-inch, and some other few items. They went to my kitchen, opened my freezer, also my hall. There were some food items. They also took it.
They took the food items also?
Yes, at least some was a sauce I had prepared for the Easter.
They took it?
They took it. When they came out, it was a RAV4, Toyota RAV4.
Okay.
Which they demanded the key when they were in my room. I gave the key to them. So they had packed the items into the car, opened the main gate, and they were trying to spark the car. For a few minutes, the car couldn't spark.
Wow.
So they came back and demanded for more money. And I told them that was all I had. I poured the contents of the bag from which I normally put my money. They were still not satisfied, so I told them, well, for the truth, that's all I have. One was then in the hall trying to get more items because it's like they couldn't spark the Toyota RAV4. So apparently when a person came to the hall, spotted another door, and that was a door from the hall to the garage. Unfortunately for me, but well, I knew they could have still broken where there was a key on it. There was a key inside, so he just opened it. And there he saw another car, which is a Toyota Fortuner. So he just shouted, "Hey, there's another car in the garage." They didn't believe it. So they said, "If you don't do this," they started beating me, hitting me. So one said, "I'll make you finish them, let's go." And then he clocked the gun. So the third person ran and pushed them, shouting, "Are you crazy? Are you crazy? We didn't come here to kill anyone. And for a few seconds, there was some misunderstanding between them.
Wow. So tell me, the Toyota Fortuner, what happened to it? They packed all your belongings into the Toyota Fortuner?
They packed all my belongings into the Toyota Fortuner, pushed the RAV4 outside into the bush somewhere. I mean, just in front of the house.
Wait, all this happened here on this compound. They pushed the RAV4 outside the compound? Outside
the compound, because until you move the RAV4, you wouldn't be able to bring out the Toyota Fortuner. The RAV4 is normally parked right in front of the garage.
So they pushed it outside?
They pushed it outside.
And then they brought out the Toyota Fortuner?
Yes.
And then what happened next? They had packed your belongings into the Toyota Fortuner?
So when they brought it out, they then transferred the items into the Toyota Fortuner and drove off.
They drove off? And all this happened within a space of how many?
About 70 to 75 minutes.
More than 1 hour?
Yes.
Maxwell Agbagba there with the lady who was robbed at gunpoint. Maxwell is here with me in the studio. Maxwell, you've been there. We've seen the pictures.
Yeah.
But of course, there's still information that the camera can communicate all the time, like I say. So let's talk about security in the area.
Yeah.
I mean, here is a woman who is obviously traumatized from the conversation with her. In the neighborhood, does it look to you like a safe place so that other people won't begin to feel apprehensive because of what has happened to this lady?
Well, even without, a security background or without me taking any courses in security, I mean, the moment you get to the community, you realize that it look a bit, unsafe in there because it's a developing community, so the buildings are sparsely, they're scattered all over, not really close. So some of them are really isolated, in a tiny bush somewhere. Some of them very close to the roadside. Those ones are a bit, safe. But what I can speak directly to is the issue of even a security post, in the area. Now, we pick information that the residents have actually been complaining about the lack of, enough or adequate police officers in that community. So
was there a police station there?
There is actually a police station there in that community called the Akpoman police station. But the interesting thing about this police station is that they close between 6, 7, they are out.
The police station closes?
The police station closes at 6 p.m. So at exactly 6 p.m., I mean, by the time you get there, they've closed, the police station.
Nobody's there. So at what point did she call? Did she place that phone call that wasn't responded to?
Okay, so for the phone call, she actually placed a phone call to a police emergency line. So that one, they did not respond to it. So she later, after the incident, the robbery actually happened within a space of 1 hour, 30 minutes. So after the robbery incident, she got some good Samaritans, who came out later after the incident to help her get to, the police station. That's the Akpoman police station. There, when they got there, some people around told them that, oh no, around this time the police
station is closed.
Yeah, around 3 and 4 a.m. They said no. It's too early because usually they close at 6 p.m. and then come later in the morning. So around this time, you can't get any police officer in this, community at this place at this time. So they had to drive all the way to that Gbogba police station to report, the issue.
The incident.
Yeah.
And at that point, these people had already left. Well, let's look at proximity. How far is the police station from her home?
Okay, so for the Akpoman police station, it's about 5 minutes drive for her home, from her home actually. So if we had police officers in there, and then had the necessary logistics, perhaps they could have responded, to the robbery, because the whole incident happened, as I mentioned earlier, between a space of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and between 2 hours. So they could have responded to it. But another situation, another challenge also for the Akpoman police station is that they do not have the necessary logistics. They don't have cars, and even for the personnel,
none at all, not even one.
None at all. And even for the police officers there are just 4 police officers, and all of them are for the morning shift. So when they come for the morning shift, just like they
close at 6.
Just like civil servants or any other, but they come 6,
morning.
Close 6, and then go home, come the following morning.
I see.
So no logistics, personnel too is also a problem. I spoke to a source in there who wouldn't go on record with those information, but he gave me all the details, and I particularly found it very astonishing and shocking because as I mentioned earlier, this is a developing community, And obviously with the issues regarding land litigation and all of that, some landlords, you know, are also, you know, living in
But the
this area.
police, they are not willing to go on record.
Yeah, they are not willing to go on record. They are not willing to go on record with those
And why is
information.
that?
Well, the officer that I spoke to told me that I should, if I want those information, I should go to the police hierarchy, because they will be the best people to respond to it, because he does not have, you know, the authorization of the police hierarchy to respond to issues like this one.
I see. It's very interesting that you
Yeah.
say that, but what are they saying about the investigation? I mean, this is an ongoing investigation. Is there any information on it? Do they have any idea who these people are, where they may have driven the Fortuna to? Any information on the investigation so
Well,
far?
unfortunately, the investigator who is working on this case, I had some interactions with him. But again, he would also not tell me the details of what they are doing. He's tight-lipped on the investigation that is currently ongoing. But you would realize that from interactions that I had with residents and even with the victim of this particular incident, it looks the case that residents are, they are being terrorized. I mean, daily, because she mentioned to me that just the last 3 weeks. Some robbers came into the community, went into a home very close to where she showed me the place, about just 100 meters away. Robbers came in there. The woman actually in that particular house raised an alarm for people to come to her help. But, I mean, nobody was willing to go because everybody was scared. And even for her situation also, some residents living in the community actually saw the robbers, some of them wielding, rifles and AK-47, but they all could not do anything to help the situation. They all, stood there. Some of them had to, hide in the bush and then watch as the unfortunate incident, unfold.
I see. That's very sad. How is she coping, by the way? I know she told you bits and pieces of how she's coping, but is she able to teach again? I mean, at this point, or is she taking a break?
Well, it looks like she's taking a break. What it is right now is that she's very traumatized, and for the incident happened because her kids were also at home when it happened. Her in-law, who is 76 years old, actually also, was assaulted by some of the robbers. They actually slapped her, and for the victim herself also, she was hit with a rifle. So they used the butt of the rifle that they were, using. They used it to hit her in the eye, so you can actually see her blood-shots, eyes and all of that. So it looks the case that she's really, really traumatized at this point, Gifty.
Okay, well, Master, stay with me. I'll let you go in a bit. But we've been speaking to, we're asking people on social media how they feel about this situation. But it appears that lots of people have similar experiences with the police. So let's go on Facebook now and read to you some of the comments. About Felix Jr. says, Ghana police, they arrived on time at mornings to stand at joints and collect monies from drivers. Come to my village where you have to pay monies to the station officers before bails can be granted, even on civil cases like assault. In fact, the lecturer should thank her stars she wasn't killed. She should never put her trust in Ghana police again. And Osei Eben Agor says he has the same terrible experience in 2014 in Kumasi at Parakou Estate. He called the police. They came in 30 minutes. By then they had already bolted. They came back after 3 days to rob again, but this time I saw the move on time, so I called the police again, and what I was told by the police will shock you. So he goes on and on to tell me about, to tell us what the police said. He says, so people, since then I came to realize that you can never trust Ghana police and that it's only Christ who is our protector. I have never liked the police since that incident happened to me. Okay, let's look at another experience. CC Colley says the ordinary people to go through such ordeal and yet nothing is done by the media or police and it's getting out of control. Form neighborhood committees to fight crime. Nana Kwekwe Gia Apia Kubi says, should it always take the misfortune of elites or influencers in societies for the various state organizations to live up to their task? That's a question you're asking there. Nino Brown says, this armed robbery thing is becoming too much. Ghana police, stop asking for DVL and start arresting the robbers. Final comment from Kweku Abe Kunyame says, Ghana police are best at mounting checkpoints and taking 5 Ghana cities from innocent drivers instead of focusing on fighting crime. The Ghanaian police is so partisan and post-centered, I suggest they learn from their contemporaries elsewhere. Okay. Well, so the issue of resource in the police comes up here.
That's very...
St. Francis is saying, to tell the government to resource the police so that they can perform their duty with professionalism and competency. And area vigilante groups comes up as well. Lots of comments, and you know that lots of people have gone through similar experiences, which is quite unfortunate. But Maxwell, thank you very much for passing through and for bringing us that. Maxwell will bring you a better package in subsequent bulletins. There, Maxwell Agbogba has been speaking to the lecturer who was robbed at gunpoint.